Und zwar, ja, guck mal, wie lang das auf einmal noch runterging. Stimmt, wir waren ja gerade beim AB-Game. Schon wieder ganz vergessen. Oder auch nicht? Das ist doch die
Looks like you're awake.
Infirmary. Huh? What? Is this the infirmary?
Why are we here?
Do you know what happened at the AB gate?
Kay and I went back to the infirmary, but...
We waited and waited, and the two of you never returned.
So we went to the warehouse to check on you.
We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms.
Kay and I hurried back here with you.
I looked over at Fi and met her eyes. Do you remember what happened just now?
You mean what happened a long time ago?
Yeah. You got him pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I remember all right.
It was so satisfying to watch.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
That would take a while to explain. Quark.
What am I? Chopped liver?
More or less.
Back
Alice.
among the conscious and not psychotic, huh?
Schön gesagt.
Yeah, thanks. Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us.
No problem. All in a day's work. Although I wouldn't mind a little swimsuit action.
Really grabbing at straws here, aren't you?
Du hast hoffentlich Alice gemeint und nicht Quark. Ich wollte gerade sagen, I wasn't talking to Quark. That was an offer for Alice.
Not really my point.
Oh, whatever. Forget about that. Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Look at your bracelet.
Oh. It says 10. I have 10 BP.
I've got 15 BP? That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
But how?
You've been asleep for more than 2 hours.
Oh.
We've played the AB game 3 times.
Yes,
3 times.
of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose Ally.
Dass die Einsatz das noch mehr zeigt, das geht. Cool. Und so haben wir jetzt alle, wie vorhin auch geplant.
And now all of us have enough to leave.
Ich meine, bei Dio kann man jetzt nicht unbedingt sagen, dass er Ally gewotet hat. Eher, dass er bewusstlos da hing und nichts anderes machen konnte. Aber das reichte uns ja. I was stunned. How had everyone cooperated long enough to raise all of our BP past 9? Was it because Akane hadn't been killed? Without a death to start things off, maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Or could the bombs have had something to do with it? We had all joined forces against Dio, and Fi and I had been able to disarm all of them. All of us had banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that had strengthened our bond. Bleiben wir noch dabei, Episode 100 zu knacken, genau. Which I had to admit would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs that forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about.
Haven't I told you death was unavoidable? Sacrifices had to be made.
For the sake
Come
of
on,
the project.
let's go! Let's open the door and get out of here!
Wait, what about him? Well, let's just leave him. After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind. Was echt? Alice was the only holdout. She complained about wanting to take him back to her superiors, but after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio then, she reluctantly complied. Okay.
All right, let's get going.
Ist ja nett, dass sie den einfach da lassen. Aber um Christian zu zitieren, mein Mitleid hält sich in Grenzen. Everybody ready? I'm gonna open it.
Yes, just get on with it.
Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I grabbed the lever and pulled it down. Doodle-ding. Sind jetzt alle, ne? Außer Dio. Sind ja noch alle am Leben. Auf diesem Pfad. Also, ich meine, Dio ist auch am Leben, aber
The
der bleibt halt da.
number 9 door has been opened. It will remain.
Ja, ja. Alright, everybody, let's move. I didn't need to tell them twice. Twice, nicht twice. The room inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked sort of like a large plate on top of a huge pedestal. We ran to the center of the plate and turned around. The number 9 door stood wide
2,
open.
1, 0. The number 9 door is closing.
Ups. So.
The
Not sure I
number
would eat that.
9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for
Ja.
the game.
Dann schauen wir mal, was jetzt auf uns wartet. Ich meine, wir wissen ja schon mehr oder weniger, was da oben auf uns wartet. What kind of flower does she have?
Looks like we did it.
Yes, we should keep moving.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. To the left we found a very familiar looking door. We pushed it open and went in. Ach ja, jetzt kommen ja die ganzen Druckausgleichkammern. Pressure exchange chamber.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means that if we want to go out, we have to decompress so we match the outside air pressure. This room here is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all those suits along the wall? I figure we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs.
Whoa! Hold on a minute. You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to Akane, we were already infected with Radical 6. The whole room seemed a little pointless.
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they?
No, that's not possible.
We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do.
All right.
No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room. As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes waiting for the process to finish. Das ist eine gute Frage. Vielleicht ist ein extra großer Anzug dabei. At last it did and we heard the door begin to open. Mussten die das jetzt nicht noch ein paar Mal machen? In dem einen Ende war das doch so. Ja, beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. Jetzt sind wir wieder in der schönen Wüste. The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline. The others hadn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces through the visor of their helmets, I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. For a few long moments, we just stood there, astonished.
Where the hell are we?
The desert, I guess?
I figured that out. I mean, which one?
I don't know, but I think I know what day it is. Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
So?
Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was gonna be on December 31st, 2028. So...
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are
you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
I think so.
Wherever we were must have been far away from any city. The air was clearer than I had ever seen it. And the stars, the sky was full of them, more stars than I had ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive, much bigger in fact than I remembered it being. Then, as I watched, a black spot began to move across its surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. What's that?
The moon. Well, the moon's shadow, actually.
What? The moon's shadow? I frowned. That didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot, and brought Quark with me, just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
What the hell are you saying?
Think about it.
Oh, in der
If
Tat.
that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
That's Earth.
Yeah. It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. Then again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon, covering the sun.
What? No way. If that's the Earth, then where the hell are we?
The moon, of course. This is the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base.
Uh-huh.
No way. No. You've got to be lying. How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity.
Well,
So what's this?
she picked up a rock and dropped it.
See, that looked perfectly normal.
Yes, it looked that way.
Luna?
You were right about the gravity in a way. I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth. Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but
Excuse me? What?
please just listen. Alice, you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you the Excelavir, which cured you. The Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. Some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
Und was sind diese Symptome?
What symptoms?
Well, Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6. It can take a while for your brain to get back up to speed. Every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much lower speed. If you evaluated the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408. That means our brains are running at something slightly less than half speed. As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. The time that it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration.
As everybody knows.
Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means the time increases. I guess that's a little technical. Let me give you an example. Say you drop an apple from a height of 4.9 meters. It will take approximately 1 second to hit the ground. On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, which would be approximately 2.45 seconds. I used 4.9 meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything. The gravity constant is, well, a constant. You could drop something from 10 centimeters or 10 meters and it would be the same. Does that make sense? So, now we've established that on the moon, things fall root 6 times slower than they do on Earth. That being the case, what would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6? To them, 2.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2. But it's not hypothetical. That's what's been happening to every one of us. Wait, you're saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity?
Oh, aber ihr habt sie bemerkt. Ihr habt sogar schon mal darüber gesprochen.
Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back. Huh? You and Sigma and Phi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird?
It's kind of like my body isn't really mine. I'm sort of floating. Like that.
Und warum? It seemed insane, but what Luna said made sense. In fact, it explained Fi's apparently superhuman strength quite well. Genau.
Wait, this is crazy. That can't possibly be Earth out there. Look at it. I've seen photos of Earth, and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red.
Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something. This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028. Today is January 27th.
In 29?
No.
Don't tell me. 30?
Still no.
Then just what year is this?
It's 74. 2074.
Deswegen ist er auch so alt. No. It's insane. That would mean we were abducted more than 45 years ago.
I don't blame you if you don't believe me, but it's the truth.
How can you be sure?
It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074. Solar eclipses are easy to predict. We've known that there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that.
But why is the Earth red?
That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, there were 18 annihilation reactors operating in various parts of the world.
Okay. 13. April 2029. 18 Annihilation Reactors.
On the 13th, all 18 of them went up, all at the same time.
Oh.
The explosion was about 180,000
Holy
times
shit.
as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped on Hiroshima.
What? Why?
I suppose it started a few months before that. The government had a test site for a future Mars mission out in the middle of Nevada.
Erinnert euch an die Aufzeichnung, die wir auf der einen Memory Card gefunden haben.
On December 31st, 2028, there was an accident. Well, accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of the thing. The point is, Radical 6 claimed its first victims there, then escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world. Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down, but eventually, it also makes you kill yourself. Pretty soon, the bodies started to pile up.
Das ist das Bild, das man am Intro immer sieht. Ganz kurz.
Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head. You know, the classics.
Classics.
But for some, it was poison, or fire, or asphyxiation, or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars. One pilot on a passenger airline drove his plane into the ground.
Jesus.
Most forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast.
Das muss ich mal vorstellen, eine Selbstmord-Pandemie, die um die ganze Erde greift.
That meant food couldn't get distributed, and thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation. Everywhere you went, there were just piles of corpses, covered in flies and rats and crows. I don't know what hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that.
That's fucked up.
After a while, people who managed to avoid getting infected started trying to get in touch with one another. They got a hold of some radios and organized a couple meetings. There was only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. They figured they could just roast the surface of the Earth and that'd kill the virus off for good. On April 13th in 2029, they put their plan into effect. That plan was to detonate all 18 annihilation reactors.
Was ein toller Plan.
Now the truth is, that's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened.
Ach so.
But I've got my own theories. I think that the bombers had already been infected.
Macht mehr Sinn.
And when they died, they took billions with them. The ultimate if I die, you're coming with me gesture, I suppose. I bet your money they'd all lost him long before they got to the reactors.
Ja, wenn die in so einem Plan gerade mittendrin waren und dann vielleicht auch infiziert wurden.
Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a sane plan. Even if it wasn't directly responsible. Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth. Anyway, why it happened isn't that important. Point is, it happened. You ever heard of nuclear winter? Well, that's basically what we got. The explosions threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash from all the fires. It blotted out the sun for 7 years. Plants withered and animals died by the millions.
Oh.
The few humans who were left banded together to survive. They were rough times. Eventually, they were over, though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, and the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear. Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air.
Tenmyoji erwähnt auch einige Male seinen Job und dass er durch Trümmer und Ruinen läuft und wertvolle Sachen sucht. Das hat man nie so richtig in Frage gestellt, aber jetzt macht es auch das Sinn, wenn die ganze Welt halt im Arsch ist, dass das sein Job ist.
That's what you're seeing. You know why a sunset's red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light have short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has a longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot farther when the air's dirty. So there you are. The Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the atmosphere.
That's fucked up. As is everything else he just told. I was speechless. What could I possibly say? There was no reason for Tenmyoji to lie to us. So we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074, but why? Why were we there? Why were we then? I was so lost in thought I barely noticed Fi's approach.
Hey, Sigma, I think I figured something out.
A window popped up on the inside of my helmet with Whisper in the corner. She seemed to be using a circuit only we could hear. Yeah? What is it?
I figured out why there's an extra E.
An extra E? Oh, you mean the graffiti?
Yeah, the one on floor B. I think it's an anagram, just like on floor A.
What's Anna say this time?
God damn it, Sigma!
Sorry,
Knock it off!
sorry.
Memento mori if the ninth lion ate the sun. If you rearrange the letters, you get the man on the moon rules the infinite time.
Oh, okay.
See? You need 6 E's to get that, so they stuck an extra one in ninth.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time?
I think it's a message for us from Zero Senior and Akane. Remember what she was telling us?
We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousnesses of 2 people into the past. Those 2 people are you, Sigma, and you, Vi.
So, what are you getting at?
My God, you're slow. You don't get it? They're saying we rule the infinite time. Infinite time. They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours. I think they're planning to send us back. Way back.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you think they're going to send us back 45 years?
Yeah, I'd bet on it.
So the ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tenmyoji was talking about.
I think so.
That doesn't make sense though. I mean, we came from that same time period, before it actually. So why bring us here and then send us back?
Well, Akane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit.
Do you know where she is?
I've got an idea. Come on, think. Remember what she said when she gave you the key?
Tu fui ego eris.
The grave! The one in the garden! Hat ja auch echt lang genug
Well, come on, what are you
Zeit
waiting
gekostet.
for? Let's go.
We turned and ran back into the pressure exchange chamber, the others following close behind. Oh, guck mal, seht ihr? Kay passt in einen Anzug rein.
Did you forget something?
We're going to have a talk with somebody.
Who?
You really need me to spell it out? The person behind all this.
You mean Akane?
What?
I'll take that as a yes. Let me accompany you then.
Wait, why do you know about Akane?
Eben.
I'll tell you when we get there. Now, if you please. I'm coming with you. You folks just said the magic word.
I'm going to then. So am I.
Hey, is this Akane you're talking about?
Ach stimmt, ja, du kennst sie auch.
Yeah, you know her real well.
Es ist so komisch, dass sie immer noch so jung ist wie damals und er halt nicht.
Wait, you're serious? What the hell is going on?
Oh, shut up! Just shut up, come if you want to. We don't need to do a roll call. Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. With that, we headed back through the airlock. Kurz, okay. Ich habe nur geschaut, ob ich auch wirklich aufnehme. Wäre das nicht kacke, wenn ich jetzt nicht aufgenommen hätte? Wobei auf Twitch kann man ja auch noch so ein VOD wahrscheinlich auch runterladen. Ich wollte gerade erst sagen, Moment mal, wenn die Tür einfach wieder aufmachen können, hätten sie doch auch alle anderen noch mitnehmen können. Aber nein, das geht ja gar nicht. Solange du nicht 9 Punkte hast.
The number 9 door on floor A is shut forever once the game ends.
Achso, da ist ja noch die andere da ist ja noch die andere Tür.
Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course. But the door on floor B...
Yeah, thought we might be able to take the lift to it, and it looks like I was right.
Any idea where Akane might be?
Yeah, the grave.
You mean the grave in the garden?
Yeah, don't worry. I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are she's alive. Just in the grave. Anyway, let's move. To the garden. To the garden. To the garden. Ist das schon hier? Ah, da. Wir wissen immer noch nicht, wofür B steht, oder? Ich weiß gar nicht, ob das überhaupt jemals gesagt wird. Beautiful Garden. Balam Garden. Bomb Garden. Ja, hat ja auch mal gestimmt, ne? Okay.
Is Akane really under here?
I think so.
What should we do? Are we gonna dig her out?
No. I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole in the grave? If I just insert this here, I pulled the key off my ankle and fitted it into the hole. I twisted it to the right until I heard something unlock. With a quiet grinding, the grave began to shift. Oh shit.
What is this?
Akane time.
It doesn't look like a coffin.
Yeah, it's a treatment pod.
Oh my god.
It is, isn't it?
The glass on the cover had frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it.
Let's see what's inside.
She grabbed a hold of the lever on the side of the pod.
No good.
Ja, muss vielleicht auch erstmal auf Open machen.
I think it's locked.
What?
Treatment pod TP
Oh.
00. Stage 1 defrosting complete. Stage 2 will be complete in 10
Okay.
minutes. Once stage 2 is complete, the lock will automatically disengage.
Right, Cold Sleep. Die Announcer-Stimme ist übrigens dieselbe wie Akane.
What?
This pod can put people into cold sleep. It uses something called a cast to freeze human bodies without destroying their cells.
So, Ms. Akane's like an ice cube?
I think so.
And we gotta wait till she melts?
Yeah.
So how about you tell us your story while we wait, Kay? Specifically, why do you know Akane?
I remembered.
What do you remember?
Everything. I was born and raised in this facility. It's called Rhizome 9.
Haben wir da nicht mal was gefunden? Wo ist es denn?
A rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? This facility is a little like a rhizome. Supposedly, that's why they call these installations that. The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon, and this is the 9th one. Well, I suppose the other ones don't really matter to you, do they?
No.
In any event, I grew up here with Akane and Zero Senior. I watched them create the AB project.
The AB project?
Yes. Its purpose is to send Phi and Sigma, or their consciousnesses at least, to the past.
Like 45 years, right?
Yes.
So, you want us to change history, huh? Go back and keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding. That's our mission?
Well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population. But even if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much. By now, it's already too late.
Too late?
What do you mean?
Let me begin at the beginning. You might be thinking that Zero Senior and Akane were the ones who created all this, but that's not entirely correct. They only followed the histories they'd already seen. It was the only choice they had. Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake. We need the two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories. That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary. By forcing multiple options, you could make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories. The puzzles were also there for a purpose. Some theories hold that a moment of insight when you solve a puzzle strengthens your connection to the fourth dimension. That was the reason for the puzzles. Your infection with Radical 6 was also a vital part of our plan. By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life or death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Like a bullet from a slingshot.
Wait, hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi, but what about the rest of us? Why did you bring us here?
That's simple. In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9. We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories. Although I suppose that's probably not a good enough explanation for you. In a sense, though, it is the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history.
The rest is...
Yes. I suppose I should explain. Very well. I will try and do so in a way you can understand. First, Alice and Clover. They were abducted 45 years and 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028. The location is Earth, of course. More specifically, Los Angeles, California. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Akane's direction. You were placed in treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep. 4 months later, you arrived at this facility. The date you finally arrived was April 14th, 2029. Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship powered by an annihilation engine. Following your arrival, your pods were placed in long-term storage. Does that make sense?
Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods here for 45 years?
Yes, in preparation for this day.
But why? What do you need us for?
You are an Esper, aren't you, Clover? I mean that you are able to access the fourth dimension. Am I wrong?
Did Akane tell you?
In a manner of speaking. As I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma and Phi's consciousnesses to the past. Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand? This is why we brought you here, Clover.
What about me?
We needed your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs.
Huh? But I didn't do anything.
But you did. In another history, you were able to perform a prime decomposition on the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind. Only you could do that sort of thing. Because of your feat of mathematics, we were about to determine that Dio had planted the bombs. Then we were able to question him and get the password for the number 31. Finally, we used that information to stop the bomb in this timeline. Without your help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust. This history exists because of your presence. Now, let me explain why we needed Tenmyoji and Quark. Tenmyoji is simple. We needed you for the same reason we needed Clover. You are able to access the fourth dimension. Almost half a century ago, you used that ability to save a young girl, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi, so we brought you here. All it took was a messenger.
Do you want to see Akane? If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it.
And you brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come.
Yeah, I know. I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? He kept saying he couldn't run off to the moon and leave me behind.
I'm sorry, Quark. If I hadn't been so stupid and selfish, none of this would have happened to you. I never thought this would happen. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I agreed to come with you. I thought the moon would be way more interesting than boring old Earth.
Well, es war ja wahrscheinlich auch auf gewisse Art und Weise interessant.
What kid would turn that down?
We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship. It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, it headed straight for the moon. During the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there. I don't remember anything after we landed.
Then there was a bunch of that white smoke, and we passed out, and when I woke up, I was in the AB room.
Now, Dio.
Das hat sich Tenryuji wahrscheinlich auch ein bisschen anders vorgestellt.
His real name is Left, and he's the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons. He was ordered to come here. The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul, which is in turn controlled by a man known as Brother. It was Brother who orchestrated the release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago. Do you remember what Phi mentioned earlier? The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released. If we succeed, that would be bad for Brother and his organization. Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they're working toward. That is why Brother sent Left, his trusted lieutenant, to this facility. They needed to stop the AB project. So, Dio was given 2 tasks. The first was to eliminate Akane, the architect of the AB project. The second was to join the AB game and win it. If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed. At least, not in that timeline.
Ich sag grad gar nichts mehr, aber ich glaube, es ist auch interessanter, einfach ihn reden zu lassen, als hier dazwischen zu quatschen.
In other words, in that world, the project would have been stopped. If things didn't go as planned, Dio was given a contingency plan.
Die Bomben.
If you cannot murder Akane and win the game, destroy Rhizome 9. Hence, the bombs.
Can I ask you something?
Perhaps.
How did Brother know about the AB project?
He was also an Esper. We can set Brother aside for now, though. May I proceed?
No one objected. We were all curious.
Excellent. That explains everyone, save 2, Luna and myself. Sigma and Phi already know the truth about Luna. I don't believe I should reveal any more, however. I think it would be more appropriate if you could ask Luna yourselves at a later time. Would that be all right with you, Luna?
Yes, that's okay.
As for me, as I said before, I was born and raised here. The rest of you were brought to this facility, but I've never left. That makes me someone close to Zero Senior and Akane.
Hey, I've been wondering, who is Zero Senior?
You've already met him, Sigma, in another timeline.
Yeah, well, I saw a hologram. I still don't know who he is. Oh.
Stage 2 is complete.
Ach ja, deswegen hat Kay auch diesen Anzug immer an. Weil er halt die ganze Zeit auf dem Mond gelebt hat. Um beim Aufwachsen halt, um die Gravity auszugleichen.
TP00 unlocking.
Oh.
It looks like it's finished. Shall we open the pod?
Yeah, let's do it. So, Akane, die kann aber was erleben. All of us gathered around the pod. The glass was still covered with frost, hiding the contents.
Okay, let's get started then. Ready?
Phi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed. Yeah, I need her.
Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Jetzt macht sie es selber. Die hat uns auch immer dafür angekackt.